What's up everyone, welcome to another book review. Today we are reviewing Mark Manson's New York Times best-selling book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Now I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of self-help books, but every man and his dog, and woman and her dog, have been talking about this book, and so I thought I'd buy it and check what all the fuss is about. So basically, this book is all about setting your priorities straight. As I understand it, it's pretty much telling you to find what is most important in your life and focus on that and exclude all the other unimportant stuff. Now you might be thinking, oh Michael, I've heard this all before, I already know this stuff. But I'll be honest, there are some very interesting perspectives in this book that I think are valuable, and personally, I think you should hear. So what are some of the key points in this book? Well, one idea that runs through this book is the idea of exceptionalism and how it has undeservedly become the new normal in today's society. Mark says something along the lines of average has become the new failure, and in my day-to-day experience, I think this is true. Just think of all the teenage millionaires, all the hot guys and girls that you don't look like, and all the holidays that everyone else is going on except you, and yeah, life seems pretty shit, but it's not. It's just normal. Mark reminds us in this book that most people live normal, average lives, and they're normal, average people. And believe it or not, they can still be happy this way. Another interesting theme that Mark brings up is this idea of self-entitlement that seems to be spreading throughout our culture. Mark suggests that many of us feel as if our problems are special and unique, and that because of this, we feel that we deserve special treatment. Inversely, he also suggests that there are many people that actually do believe that they're special and unique, and therefore feel as if they deserve special treatment. Mark believes that these feelings of self-entitlement are crippling us and actually negatively affecting our happiness. This ties in well with another point that Mark brings up about chasing happiness above suffering at all costs. And if you ask Buddha, he would tell you that this is a terrible, terrible idea. Now, the idea of not chasing happiness and being content with suffering is a pretty big part of Buddhist philosophy. And it definitely feels as if Mark has drawn upon that or been influenced by that when writing this book. I also want to point out that there was a part of the book that I found particularly empowering. And that was this idea that everything is your responsibility. Okay, now bear with me for a moment. This does not mean that everything is your fault. And Mark clearly makes that distinction. But what he's basically getting at is that regardless of your problems, you have a decision to make. Say for example, you lose your job, or maybe your partner leaves you. You have choices to make. You can either cry, get upset, have a tantrum, and become an emotional wreck, or you can take steps to try to fix the situation. Now, he's not saying that these things are easy, but what he is saying is that you have the choice to do the hard things, and that when you do the hard things, your situation is likely to improve. And not only that, but by doing the hard things, you actually give yourself the power to improve your situation. Now, I don't know how this would work in a more traumatic experience, say if you lost a family member, maybe a child, a partner, or even just a close friend. But I think for the general public with general problems, this idea was pretty useful, and I personally found it very empowering. Now, I like this book for a lot of reasons, but I just have to say straight off the bat, it was such a breath of fresh air to hear about someone talk about self-help in a way that actually felt honest. One of my problems with self-help books is that they tend to be airy-fairy, and they talk about being yourself and looking within your heart and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know, I don't really buy it. This book was different. It didn't feel like it was telling you what to do to be a better person. Rather, it was telling you what to look for in your life, and then encouraging you to make your own choices to improve your situation. I also like the simple language that Mark used to convey his message, preferring to be concise rather than, stroking his own ego and being unnecessarily complicated. And whilst I did enjoy this book, there were a few things that I found myself disagreeing with, and there were certain areas of the book that I felt could have been improved. One thing I came across pretty quickly that I disagreed with was in the first chapter where Mark talks about not trying. And I quote, "Ever notice that sometimes when you care less about something, you do better at it? Notice how it's often the person who is the least invested in the success of something that actually ends up achieving it. Notice how sometimes when you stop giving a fuck, everything seems to fall into place." Now, to give some context, he's talking about Charles Bukowski, who is a famous writer from a few decades back who was apparently pretty messed up. He used Charles as an example for not trying and still being successful, and although his point is basically that we focus so much on what we lack that sometimes taking a step back and not trying is the best route forward, I feel like using Charles as the example wasn't the best way to make this point. I think that Charles was an exception, and that if most people followed the advice of not trying, they'd probably struggle. Secondly, although I really enjoyed the stories that Mark used to demonstrate his points, I sometimes wish that he used more scientific explanations for things. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I need scientific research or data there to back the claims being made. Otherwise, I'm just very skeptical. Now, a lot of what Mark said did make sense, and in some cases it was difficult to refute, but I just wish he had have maybe used a bit more stats and data to really drive those points home. That being said, I do understand why he might not have included graphs and data in this book, because at the end of the day, it is for the general reader, and including those things might have reduced its attractiveness to the general public. Anyway, as I mentioned before, I am not a fan of self-help books, but I'll be honest, I really did enjoy reading this book. I found it very useful, and I think the perspectives in the book are very interesting and very valuable. If you're still here now, thank you so much for watching. I honestly do appreciate it. If there's any books that you'd like me to review, please send me a message on Instagram or leave a comment below. And also another thing, if there's anything that you think I can do to improve these reviews, please also let me know, because I'm always looking to get better at this. I've only just started doing it, and I really would like to improve. So I'd appreciate any feedback you guys could give. Thanks heaps. I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.